they're stacking the deck, rigging the deal. Project 2025 got the power to steal. Elon's in the lab cooking up a new coup. Cash rules all and they're coming for you. Oh no, MERICA, what you gonna do? Rights getting burned and they're coming for you. Constitution's just a ghost in chains. Freedom slipping down the drains. Rise up, break the chains. No billionaire should run the game. Lying, scheming, stealing rights. If we don't fight, we lose tonight. End of democracy comes in waves. Justice buried in shallow graves. Stand up loud, don't be the slaves. Unmake the cage, unmake the cage. Tick tock, time's running out. They're burning the laws, there ain't no doubt. Oh no, MERICA, what you gonna do? Rights getting burned and they're coming for you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Check out my hat, guys. I got my brand new ohnomerica hat. Just got it in. Oh, I forgot the sticker. It's outside. I'll get my teen to grab that for me. It's literally outside the garage. But yes, merchandise. Of course, it is St. Patrick's Day. So I was a little delayed because I'm making our St. Patrick's Day tradition here that I brought from my family. I want to show you guys this glass to show you what a Giants fan I am. My mom, for our wedding anniversary, got me and my wife Candlestick Park etched glasses for where the Giants and the 49ers used to play. And because it is St. Patrick's Day, we are going to have my favorite Irish whiskey, not sponsored. Good grief. This is the Clonakilty. Okay, it is a micro distillery, double oak finish on the coast there of Ireland. Let's just, God, that smells good. Okay, we're just gonna have a tiny little, just a teeny tiny bit. That's I literally just a tiny bit, guys. Oh, before we get started on today's episode, because we need it. We need it. Hang on one second. I don't know why I'm so bright. I'm just so bright and shiny, guys. What can I do? You know, guys, St. Patrick's Day, for all of you out there that are Irish like myself, yeah, this is the day that the rest of America puts green on and acts a fool with alcohol to celebrate us Irish. So here's you, fellow Irish people out there. Here's looking at you, kid. Oh man, that is good. Clonakilty. Boom. Now, so the tradition that I was participating in, that I will have to take a break in approximately 17 minutes and 20 seconds, is making my mom's, our family recipe cheesecake. And yeah, and one year, you know, that was always slante. That was always saved for like a special occasion. That is the smallest shot you've ever seen. That is correct, Rox, because unlike popular opinion, I do not drink because it turns my face a bright red, no matter what the alcohol is. Yeah. So one year my mom decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this cheesecake green. And so the cheesecake has 2 layers. I mean, well, 3 layers. It's the crust and then the actual like cheesecake part. And then there's like a sour cream topping. Okay. On top of this that is, you know, then refrigerated and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So my mom decided, instead of making the inside of the cake green and then putting like the white topping, she made the topping this like emerald green. I mean, it was fucking like green. And my grandmother was like, what the fuck is that? Like, nobody wanted to eat it except for me. I was like, I know what's in here. I don't give two shits what color it is. Like, I must have eaten half that cheesecake all by myself. And I think I was like 7 years old then. So then the next year, my mom made it again with the green on the inside, and then everybody was okay. But that's really the only time of year that we put any sort of food coloring into it. I have the recipe. I'll post it if you guys want. But it does have a secret ingredient in it. And when I tell people this, they're like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Okay, you have to calm your tits." Um, so it does call for like a tablespoon of lemon juice, right? And that's to give the cheesecake like that tartness, right? Which you taste in most like store bought cheesecakes or even like a New York style cheesecake. So my mom one year was like, "Well, shit, I don't have any lemons. What else could give it like that tartness?" Because the lemon and the cream cheese come together and they get like a little sour and it gives it like that, right? So my mom had, of course, on hand her favorite Irish whiskey, which was pretty much like one of the only ones you could get back in the 70s and 80s, which was, of course, Bushmills. I do keep a bottle of Bushmills in my house just for making this cheesecake. And so instead of the lemon juice, she put the Bushmills in, and the legend of my mother's cheesecake was born because it gives it specifically Bushmills. Okay. Not any other whiskey. I have tried the Clonakilty. I have tried every whiskey that I have, practically. You gotta, honestly, it has to be the Bushmills. Why? Because Bushmills has this sort of like tang to it, if you guys are whiskey connoisseurs. Um, and it just works with the whole thing. So that's baking in the oven. I gotta go stick a toothpick in it here in about, what does my timer say? 13 minutes now. Okay, now that I've told you the cheesecake story, let me take the rest of this whiskey here and then we'll get on to this story. Okay. And so that I stay alert, I'm going to wash that down with some Coke. Ooh, that's tasty right after. Yeah, Joe, you gotta try this Clonakilty. It comes from, it's an Atlantic distillery from Cork. So it's right there on the coast in Cork, and it's award-winning whiskey. It has won the World Spirits competition in San Francisco, double gold, more than 1 year. And I just get the single batch. Um, yeah, that's the one that I get. They have a rye and other stuff too. But yeah. Yeah. Okay, Joe, here's a question for you. Here's a question for you in Scotland. Do you guys give two shits about St. Patrick's Day there? Do you guys do anything for St. Patty's Day? Or are you guys just like, sure? That's a real question. I love whiskey too. We'll have to have a whiskey off next time I see you. But, yeah. Anyway. Oh, Books GSDs just became a member. Thank you. Thank you. You drink. You drink. All right. So the Scots are joining in. Their other islanders, the Irish, in drinking. Fantastic. All right. So let's start this whole. Oh, let's just start. Let's just start. Okay. So in the news, you guys know that Donald Trump has invoked a very, very old rule to start just mass deporting people. Okay. This is from today. I'm sorry, from yesterday. Okay. White House touts deportations under Alien Enemies Act after judge blocks efforts. I really want you guys to understand that because as soon as he said, hey, I'm going to deport all these people, a judge came in and was like, not today, Satan. No, you're not. And he was like, yeah, bet. And then, somehow in the 21st century, where we have these tiny little miracle boxes of communication where we can text and video chat and talk to anybody around the world, they were unable to contact the pilot of the plane, and it departed after the judge had made this ruling. All right, so Trump administration officials Sunday announced the deportations of hundreds of immigrants. The White House alleges, very important, alleges are members of a Venezuelan gang to El Salvador under the Wartime Alien Enemies Act after a judge temporarily blocked the effort Saturday. Okay, so they did this on Sunday anyway. The plane took off. Hang on one second here, guys. Haha, I didn't forget to unmute. Okay. All right. The president invoked this authority to deport nearly 300 of them who are now in El Salvador. Well, they will be behind bars where they belong rather than roaming freely in the American communities, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in an interview on Fox News. Sunday Morning Futures, that's the show she was on. Vice President J.D. Vance added in a post on X on Sunday night that President Donald Trump deported violent criminals and rapists. Okay, there was no verification done of this. We have no documentation that every single one of these people was one of those things. See, it's not clear how the government determined the nearly 300 men were part of the gang or whether they had U.S. court hearings or immigration hearings, as the Alien Enemies Act allows the government to deport certain nationals in times of war without a trial. Okay, so guys, we're going to go over some history here. We're going to go over some things. Okay, so now I have done a bit of research, and let's we'll go over that timeline after. Okay, so let's go over what is the alien. What is this act? What is it? Why is that so teeny tiny? What had happened? Let's make it bigger. Yeah. No, thank you very much. Hang on. I got to make it a different shape. Yeah, well, okay. Sometimes the things I have really aggravate me, guys. Uh-huh. Nope. There we go. Okay, well, you guys can see the important part now. Here we go. So these the Alien and Sedition Acts of 1798. Okay, guys. So 1798. I really want everybody to get that through your head. This is from 1798. This is just after America was born. Okay, this is 22 years later after America was born. Okay, so this was passed. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. This was passed in preparation for an anticipated war with France. The Alien and Sedition Acts tightened restrictions on foreign-born Americans and limited speech critical of the government. This is the part I want everybody to pay attention to, because everybody's just paying attention, okay, to the part where we're deporting people. Because if you guys think for 1 second that Trump's team is like, and by the way, also, Here's what we can do. Okay. Because you've already seen a prequel in The Truth where he's like, illegal protests, people will be out of here. No, I put a set back up. Yeah, I put a set back up on the they should be. Please hold, technical difficulties with cars. They're probably in your other bag, but the other set's up on the ring, babe. Okay. They're probably in your work bag. Okay. There you go. Lesbian problems. Too many fanny packs. Okay. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Oh, there we go. See, progressives, guys. I have to look through the right part of the lens in order to read this. You guys ever do that? Where you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wipe off my lens, and then it makes it worse for the glasses wearers out there. I just made this a complete mess. Okay, that's better. Now I can see. Oh, hello. All right. In 1798, the United States stood on the brink of war with France. The Federalist Party, which advocated for a strong central government, believed that Democratic Republican criticism of Federalist policies was disloyal and feared that aliens or non-citizens living in the United States would sympathize with the French during the war. As a result, a Federalist-controlled Congress passed 4 laws known collectively as the Aliens and Sedition Acts. These laws raised the residency requirement for citizenship from 5 to 14 years, authorized the president to deport aliens, and permitted their arrest, imprisonment, and deportation during wartime. The Sedition Act made it a crime for American citizens to print, utter, or publish any false, scandalous, and malicious writing about the government. The laws were directed against Democratic Republicans. That's back when there used to be like other parties, guys. The party typically favored by new citizens. The only journalists prosecuted under the Sedition Act were editors of the Democratic Republican newspapers. Okay. So that's where that came from. Let's go to the wiki. Okay. And somehow this shape is not working because that is my life. Uh-huh. I still don't understand why it's. Yes. Okay. This is just giving me the business today. The absolute business. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make myself a little smaller so I can make this bigger so you guys can see it better, okay? There we go. We just do these things on the fly, guys. Okay. So the Alien and Sedition Acts, okay? The Alien and Sedition Acts were set of 4 laws in 1798 that applied restrictions to immigration and speech in the United States. The Naturalization Act of 1798, okay, increased the requirements to seek citizenship. The Alien Friends Act of 1798 allowed the president to imprison and deport non-citizens. And the Alien Enemies Act, because this is the only one they're talking about, guys. There's actually 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, gave the president additional powers to detain non-citizens during time of war. And the Sedition Act, okay, this is like a quartet from hell, criminalized false and malicious statements about the federal government. The Alien Friends Act and the Sedition Act expired in 1800. The Naturalization Act was repealed in 1802, but the Alien Enemies Act, as amended, is still in effect. Is still in effect. Okay? So let's zoom down to the Alien Enemies Act. Okay? Here we go. We're having Irish stew tonight and soda bread. That's what we're having. And the cheesecake that I got to go check on in okay, actually before we read this, you guys read this. I'll be right back. Please hold. I wish I had like some hold music or something on a loop. I don't have that. I'll be right back. I got to check my cheesecake. Hang on. And I'm back. Got to give it another 5 minutes here. Just set the timer. Boom. Because you know what? It's not quite done yet. When you poke it in the middle there and it's still a little wet, it's not done. But I got to bake the top part for an additional 10 minutes. So it's a whole process. And then it goes in the fridge. And I will show it to you guys before I put it in the fridge because I'm going to put it in this fridge right here next to me. Okay. So the Alien Enemies Act, okay? An act respecting, officially an act respecting alien enemies was passed to supplement the Alien Friends Act, granting the government additional powers to regulate non-citizens that would take effect in times of war. Under this law, the president could authorize the arrest, relocation, or deportation of any male over the age of 14 who hailed from a foreign enemy country. It also provided some legal protections to those subject to the law. Unlike the other acts, this was largely unopposed by the Democratic Republicans. They were like, yeah, sounds good. Take everybody who's 15 and above. Fuck those guys. We don't like the look of we don't like the cut of their jib. We don't like the cut of their jib. The Alien Enemies Act was not allowed to expire with the other Alien and Sedition Acts. It remains in effect as Chapter 3, Sections 21 through 24, Title 50 of the United States Code. President James Madison invoked the act against British nationals during the War of 1812. President Woodrow Wilson invoked the act against nationals of the Central Powers during World War I. In 1918, an amendment to the act struck the provision restricting the law to males. So now it could be anybody. Now it could be everybody. And then on December 7th, 1941, in response to the bombing of Pearl Harbor, America lost its goddamn mind. That's what happened. Franklin Delano Roosevelt used the authority of the revised Alien Enemies Act to pursue presidential proclamations number 2525, Alien Enemies Japanese, 2526, Alien Enemies German, 2527, Alien Enemies Italian, to apprehend, restrain, secure, and remove Japanese, German, and Italian non-citizens. Roosevelt later cited further wartime powers to issue Executive Order 9066, which interned Japanese Americans using powers unrelated to the Alien Enemies Act. Hostilities with Germany and Italy ended on May 1945, and President Harry S. Truman issued a proclamation 2655 on July 14th, 1945. The proclamation gave the Attorney General the authority regarding enemy aliens within the continental United States to decide whether they are dangerous to the public peace and safety of the United States, to order them removed, and to create regulations governing their removal, citing the Alien Enemies Act. On September 8th, 1945, Truman issued Presidential Proclamation 2662, which authorized the Secretary of State to remove enemy aliens that had been sent to the United States from Latin America. On April 10th, 1946, Truman issued a Presidential Proclamation 2685, which modified the previous proclamation and set a 30-day deadline for removal. In Luedecke v. Watkins, 1948, the Supreme Court interpreted the time of release under the Alien Enemies Act. German alien Kurt G.W. Luedecke was detained on December 8th, 1941, under that first proclamation, and continued to be held after cessation of hostilities. In 1947, Luedecke petitioned for a writ of habeas corpus in order to order his release after the Attorney General ordered him deported. The court ruled 5-4 to release Luedecke, but also found that the Alien Enemies Act allowed for detainment beyond the time hostilities ceased until an actual treaty was signed in the hostile nation or government. On September 20th, 2024, then President nominee Donald Trump announced that if elected for a second term, he would invoke the Aliens Enemies Act of 1798 to expedite the removal of non-citizens and criminal networks operating in the United States. In his second inaugural address on January 20th, which we watched, President Donald Trump again stated that he would invoke it. On March 15th, he did that. I got to run upstairs. Finish reading the rest here. 1 second. Almost took my headphones with me. You guys are so patient. I appreciate you. Okay, so your dogs are wondering why I got so quiet. Okay. I need to make the print larger. Jeez Louise. All right, so here we go. That bakes for 10 minutes there on the top, and then I bring it down, put it in the fridge, and I'll show you guys. All right, so basically, the judge blocked it, okay? But he sent them off anyway, right? Why did I have True Social up? Oh, right. So I wanted to play for you guys this.
On his first day in office, he ended that app. He ended that opportunity for migrants seeking asylum. But now they've repurposed that app as CBP Home. So we asked Secretary Noem, is that app being utilized? Does she think it's working? Here's what she had to say about CBP Home.
It's building momentum all the time, and we're continuing to educate the public about it. But yeah, it's, the last I checked a few days ago, it was getting a ton.
So let's remember, on his first day in office, he canceled this app. Canceled it. Now he's put it back. Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, is talking about it.
Hundreds and hundreds. I'm not sure if we're over thousands and thousands now, but every day as people recognize that there are criminal penalties for overstaying, especially after you have final removal orders. There's also financial penalties for every day that you're here for a final removal order. It could be $700 a day penalty.
$700 a day. They're going to charge to a migrant who came here with nothing, who escaped from a country where our dollar equals thousands, sometimes millions of their single dollar. And we're going to find them $700 American dollars a day. Let's make that make sense.
Penalty. So if someone has been here for years, past the date of their final removal order, it could be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Sure.
And that's a consequence they could face if they don't self-deport.
If they don't self-deport. You've got to self-deport. Okay. So this is the app. This is the mobile application, CPB mobile application. Features. Guys, look at all these fantastic features in this mobile app. So fun. CPB Home is a mobile application that grants you access to a variety of services provided by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the CPB, the CBP, rather, including intent to deport. Aliens can now notify the U.S. government of their intent to depart the United States. Check border wait times. Use the app to check estimated wait times and open lane status 24/7 at land ports of entry. Apply for a provisional I-94 entry. This allows travelers to apply for provisional I-94 prior to arriving at a land border crossing. Travelers who apply for their I-94 ahead of time will experience faster processing times to expedite entry. Travelers can quickly access their current I-94 submissions to view critical information such as how long they can remain in the U.S. and use it for proof of visitor status once in the United States. So when they approach you and say, "May I see your papers?" You'll just be like, "Here's my I-94. It's on my app." Request an inspection of agriculture or biological products. Submit a traveler's manifest for bus operators. Gotta get those smugglers to give you a whole manifest. This is wonderful. Okay, then he made this. Okay, these are the monsters sent into our country. This is the propaganda that the right sees. Okay, these are the monsters sent into our country by crooked Joe Biden and the radical left Democrats. How dare they? Thank you to El Salvador, and in particular, President Bukele, for your understanding of this horrible situation, which was allowed to happen to the United States because of incompetent Democratic leadership. We will not forget. Look at this little promo video they've made here. Okay. This is right-wing propaganda promo. Okay. It's the police. Look at us, man. Big vehicles. Flashing lights. here's a plane we rented. Oh, now look at how they hold these guys down in a submissive stance. From the second they're off the plane, they are not allowed to raise their head. That is on purpose. Why? So that if they attempt to run, they can get shoved to the ground. This is not humane treatment of people. We gotta photograph all those cats. Look how they're just dragging this guy down. Like, he can walk down. Nope, we gotta do the submissive head thing. Let's play some music now. Yep, look at this guy. How old is that guy? That guy's a teen. He's dressed like my teen. What the fuck is this guy? Yeah, they're shoving the heads up. This guy wants people to see his face. He's trying to show his parents where he went. We got a helicopter. We've got a bus. This was their arrival. So this is what we're celebrating. We're celebrating El Salvador's completely. We're going to go over this prison here. This prison that these people have just been sent to this is a real video, Rox. This is a El Salvadorian promo of them taking out their literal worst. This is the worst prison in the world. There's been a whole documentary about it. We're going to go over that here in a second. Look at that. Why are we doing that? Notice how most of the officers, the guys that work in the prison, their arms are covered if they have tattoos. Their faces are always covered. People cannot see who they are. They're shaving them. They're going to shave every piece of hair off of them. They makes him say, they're numbers now. They are not a person. They are numbers. They shave their heads. They shave them like animals. This guy is not resisting. Look at them. They make them kneel as they just shave all of this off. I'm going to mute the music because it's really annoying. See? Now, these guys are only allowed to wear this white and white slippers. This is their whole uniform. They don't ever get pants. They don't ever get anything. Now they're going to go into the cell. I want you to notice the cell. 1, 2, 3, 4 bunks. 4 bunks high. 4 bunks high. That's where these people will live, in a cell 4 bunks high. I don't remember how many bunks deep. That's where we've just sent those people. Because the president of the United States decided that they, for whatever reason, they deserve that. So yeah, it's where did it just go? I just lost something. There we go. I had to bring that back. Okay. So now, yeah, and that's what the president of the United States is promoting as like fucking great shit a day ago. Okay. We're going to go over this documentary here in a minute. But first, let me go back here because it's not letting me do what I want to do. Oh, okay. I don't actually need that. What I need is this. No. Actually, that kind of overlaps, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Okay. So let's go over this this documentary a little bit here. I will let it keep rolling. Actually, I'm not going to start it just yet. Actually, you know what? I'm going to start it. And then go up and grab my thing, and I'll show you guys that. We'll pause it. But here we go. Okay. Here we go. There we go. We're going to rewind a little bit. I'll be right back. See? Cheesecake. Ta-da! I'm going to go put that in the fridge. Oh, okay. Here we go, guys. So, thank you. Thank you for the bravos for my cheesecake. Let's get back to the serious shit here. Okay. So the act is pertaining to anybody who's deemed illegal here in this country. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because it is unbelievably depressing. Here we go. Oh, this is why I had it on my other thing. The last thing we need when watching something depressing like this is fakakta ads. I had it pulled up on my other Google because I have Google Chromes for every single YouTube channel, and I only pay for the premium on the one channel because I'm not going to pay for premium on every, you know what does that make sense, guys? Like, it just seems unnecessary. Please hold. Okay, I'm going to show you guys something else because that was actually footage. This one is actually better because it gives you. Okay, bye. Let me find it here in 1 second. So this is from a year ago, prior to President Trump taking office. This is a report from NBC News. That's a good one, but I want to make sure we get the full picture here, but I think you guys are going to get it from this one. Here we go. All right, here we go.
In the heart of El Salvador, Telemundo cameras are given rare access to Latin America's largest.
Okay, so notice how all the men are just standing there with their arms crossed, staring out, all looking exactly the same. Okay, this is a female guard. Her whole face is hidden from view. Watch how they check, inmates in and out.
Prison. Inside this mega prison, you'll find some of El Salvador's most dangerous gang members packed into massive cells, towers of bunk beds.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Is that 3 high? This is the top bunk. Okay. How many people do you think they fit in one of these cells? How many people do you think they fit in one of these cells? Okay.
In what looks like bird cages.
Buenas noches, señor presidente.
Okay, there's little holes at the top for ventilation.
It's a source of pride for President Nayib Bukele that almost 2
He's proud of it, the president. He's proud of this. Look at these stone walls. Look at
years
this
ago
place.
declared a war on crime. A detention center the size of 7 football stadiums.
7 football stadiums holds 40,000 people. 40,000 people.
With capacity to hold 40,000 prisoners, the largest of its kind in Latin America. Known as the Center for Terrorism Confinement.
Known as the Center for Terrorism Confinement. That's CCOT, but how you say that in Spanish.
It opened its doors in 2023 after the government declared a state of emergency. The move limiting civil rights and allowing massive arrest of tens of thousands of gang members.
Oh, sound familiar? Sound like anything we just read?
Aquí están esos sujetos que ocasionaron tanto luto y dolor en una sociedad.
The director says the detainees have to sleep on hard surfaces to avoid giving them mattresses that could.
They have to sleep on hard surfaces. There's no mattresses. To avoid giving them mattresses that could be used for what?
Be used to hide objects. Their diet.
No mattresses. You don't want them hiding anything. Can't be hiding stuff in your mattress.
Consist of simple meals that repeat every day.
Frijol, arroz, un huevo duro en la mañana. El menú del desayuno se repite en la cena.
Beans and rice. Beans and rice. 1 hard egg in the morning. And then repeated for dinner. They get beans and rice 3 times a day. Where did that go? I just clicked something, guys. I don't know what I did. Hang on. It wouldn't be a Nora show without technical difficulties. Okay, here we go. The only thing that changes is lunch. Oh, what do they get for lunch?
Almuerzo, lo único que cambia, un poquito de pasta y arroz.
So breakfast is a hard-boiled egg and beans and rice. Dinner is a hard-boiled egg and beans and rice. And then lunch is pasta and rice. How much do you think those 3 meals cost this prison to serve those people every day? How many pennies? And he's proud of this.
It's all part of the president's tough stance on crime that some say solidified his re-election over the weekend.
Bukele claiming a landslide victory with more than 2/3 of the votes processed, the president winning 83% of those votes.
Wow. A landslide. 83% of the vote.
The government says the measures are working and the homicide rate has now dropped to 2.4%. This after just years ago, El Salvador was considered the most dangerous country in Central America.
So now they've got the homicide rate down to 2.4%. They're just housing en masse criminals that they've decided, are criminals. They put them there. See how they make them walk all the time? Even when they're in the prison, you notice how the prison guard doesn't have his hand on their neck anymore. Now they just know to walk like that. Once they've been there for enough time, they know that's how they walk. They don't walk upright.
But the massive arrests have come with criticism. Under the current law, children as young as 12 can now be charged as adults. Also, mass trials can be held. And international watch groups say innocent people are being caught in the raids.
Did you guys catch that? Children as young as 12 can be sent there. And they're having mass trials. They're not trying one person at a time. I said, you 3, you 10, you 15. We're going to get you on trial today.
Many sounding the alarm last year, calling for transparency.
We don't know if those who are being detained have committed a crime.
I'm sorry. This woman just said that they don't know if those that have been rounded up and detained by the government illegally without due process have committed a crime. Just like we don't know that those 300 Venezuelans that were shipped off committed a crime either. We have no idea.
Or are just there because they were tattooed and were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And for those who end up here, the director says there is no separation even between rival gangs.
There's no heat, no air conditioning. So when it is hot as fuck in those cells. When it is cold, they are cold. They don't get blankets. They don't get nothing.
All sleeping in the same large cells with no rights to visitation.
No rights to visitation. No rights to visitation. Look at this kid up on the bunk here. How old do you think that kid is? That is a child. There's another child. That guy's old. Child.
The dark side to the radical change that brought peace to the streets of a nation.
Notice how this is their activity all day. They just stare down the guards. Look at these guards. This is like some sort of fucking, what's that fucking movie with Sylvester Stallone that they Judge Dredd. This is like they watched Judge Dredd and they were like, we want that. Yeah, I did notice that his arm was like underneath the thing there. Tazzy, it's awful. None of this is humane treatment. Yeah, no visitation rights, so they can't have to say they arrested the wrong people. Right. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. Can you imagine as a parent if your kid had gotten swept up into one of these, like it's just they're fucking gone overnight and you're going to the police, like my son's missing. They're like, okay, sure. And you can't go there. You can't ask to see them. You can't get them a lawyer, like nothing. You will know nothing about due process with that person. How is this humane? How is this? And this is where our president of the United States just sent 300 individuals. Just shipped them there. Who's paying for all that? Are the El Salvadorian taxpayers paying for those 300 people's meals and things? How does this place funded? Is it privately funded? Did Trump get a bonus from somebody? What is he getting back from El Salvador in exchange for 300 humans? This is nuts.
Quad Venegas joined.
Okay, so then this is the interview of the guy who toured the prison. Guys, this is what we're doing right now. Oh no, I haven't heard about that, but you know, like I didn't hear about this guy. But I'm not shocked, Heidi, because like every day there's some other weird shit. We have that kid who got deported. Now this guy that you're telling me about, there is nothing that doesn't shock me now. There's nothing that doesn't shock me that's happening in this country right now. What President Trump is looking at that fucking prison as a model. Because if you don't think he's going to set some shit like that up here and keep detaining people, we have a history of that in this country. We have a history of othering people and then putting them in shithole places where they cannot be seen or heard from by regular people. And we either let them starve to death, die, put them on, farces of trials and execute them, or, just keep them there forever, like Native Americans. We did it to Native Americans. We did it to the Italians. We did it to the Germans. We did it to the Japanese. This is just the startup model. This is just the first baby step in testing how much we will push back. How much we will push back on the absolute criminality that is going on in our country. How much longer will I be able to sit here and do this broadcast, guys, and go interview people at protests before those are mass incarceration events? How American is enough American? Which paperwork is going to be recognized as the right paperwork? If you get a nice tan, like I do because I'm Greek, does that mean automatically I'm going to be a target for deportation? The answer is yes. Because I'm covered in tattoos and my skin gets dark? Does that put me in an automatic category for some people? Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. We have to wake up, guys. We have to start fucking doing something. We have to keep writing into Congress. And I'm sorry, but as I said in my driving stream on my way to therapy, fuck these lame duck Democrats who are spineless fecks who just sit there and pontificate about how bad everything is, and then they cave every fucking time. I'm talking to you, Adam Schiff. I'm talking to you, fucking Chuck Schumer. Tired of it. I'm tired of these people. Yeah, who think that we're just going to keep voting them into office because we're so desperate. Yeah. Also, he declared CNN and MSNBC to be illegal. Illegal. This is exactly what the tiny mustache man in the 1940s did in Germany. He waged war on the media. He declared them illegal. He only allowed certain things to be said. He started pushing people out of the country, and then he rounded up the rest and put them where? What do those jails remind you of? Has anyone else seen a picture that if we put it side by side with that jail would look almost exactly the same? Let's do that. Let's get this video back on this picture right here. Sorry. Okay. So this is a picture from Dachau concentration camp back in the 40s. This is them inside their bunks. And this is those prisoners currently in El Salvador. 1944, 2025. (1944) 2025. It is frightening to me. It is frightening to me that those images are eerily similar. It is frightening. It is frightening to me. Absolutely terrifying. All right, sorry. Had to text my wife back. Yeah, it is history repeating itself, honey. And it is terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. And the early camps in 1933 and 34 had judges, political prisoners, gays. Yeah. And that's what we're starting with here. The war on the Biqua is on. And they're not going to stop there. They're not going to stop there. Let me get, somebody said, hello. Thank you, Tazzy. Ironically, it's Harmony Week in Oz celebrating multiculturalism. Friday, 21st of March is UN International Day for Elimination of Racial Discrimination. You know they won't be celebrating that here, right? Trump will declare that illegal. Gunna Fawcett celebrating 2 whole months of membership. Thank you so much for that. Tazzy's been here for a month. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Brooks and GSDs. Books and GSDs just became a member. Thank you for that. Madonna celebrating 2 months of membership. And if you guys want to become a citizen of ohnomerica, there you go. Click the link. Oh, Rick James, always here to lighten the mood. I'm going to check your comments and questions here. For what you are betting anyone use CBP to leave will be arrested before they can leave. Yeah. As many Americans that we have sitting in prison that are innocent, I do not believe that all these men are guilty. Yeah. It would be an impossibility. If you research back to his first term, he actually revered the Venezuelan immigrants. He made many comments that they were not to be treated like Mexicans. I found a podcast. Yeah. And now he's like, fuck them guys. Yeah. The men he sent to El Salvador were presumably Venezuelans, correct? Is there no agreement with Venezuela to take them back? No. You see, guys, this is a demonstration. It's a promo. Did you guys see the promo video? This is the point. It's a promo for how we should handle criminals here. It's a demonstration. It's like you go to like a car show and they show you all the doodahs. This one's seats tilt all the way back. Look at 2 cup holders, more cup holders. How many cup holders does this car have? It's like a whole thing. We got a V6 under the hood with 1,000 foot per pound torque, like all this kind of bullshit. That's what that was. This is a machismo demonstration of totalitarian power. that Trump will recreate in this country if he continues to do things unchecked. And even when judges say no, he did it. And is he in jail? Is he in handcuffs? Is he being hauled off to The Hague right now for crimes against humanity for just shipping 300 randos to El Salvador? Will they never be seen again? No, he's not. I give him 1 month before he's out there with a golden shovel breaking ground on the facility that's going to be built here, bringing in the guy who's running it currently. All I can see is these prisoners, is the hate they're building up in their, yeah. They can never be let out for fear of retaliation. Oh, yeah. They get 30 minutes a day outside of their cages. They do it in rotation where they can sit and meditate, exercise, but they have to be doing something. There's no milling around. It's all a group activity. So if they're all meditating, they're sitting on the floor. There is no comfort for them ever. Unless they get sick. You saw they sat that guy down in a chair to check him out medically. Everything they do, every moment of their existence, they get out to eat. I think they have 10 minutes a day to eat. There's no sunshine for them. There's no yard time. They're not allowed to talk. That's why they just sit there and stare at the prison guards all day. Yeah. My dad was part of liberating one of the camps in World War II. It scarred him for life. And he didn't even live in it, simply witnessed it. Yeah. 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 Witnessing that type of crime against humanity, there's no question that changes you. How did he choose which prisoners he was sending there? I don't know. Probably just threw a Sharpie dart at something. Yes, that is not a dumb question. Not everybody's great at the geographies, not even our president. El Salvador and Venezuela are two completely different countries. They both exist on the continent, the South America, not South Africa. But yeah, they're two. I think El Salvador is in Central. Let's pull up a map. It's been a long time. Maps. Google Maps. Let's pull it up. Because I'll be honest with you, it's been a long time since I've done geography. Let's look. We're going to zoom out. Oh, good. For fuck's sake, Nora. I'll fix that in a minute. But anyway, give me a second. Why is it that every time I try to do something, I fuck it up? Okay. Here's America. That's Canada, not the 51st state. No, don't help me out, Google. You already fucked my shit up. Okay. I'm over here. This is Mexico. Okay, we're going to zoom in over here. There's El Salvador. It's in Central America. That apparently used to be the most dangerous country. Look how small it is, guys. This is a small-ass country. No offense, El Salvador. It's just small. Okay, and Venezuela is over here. So these guys got sent to here instead of back here to their home, which don't make no sense. Why didn't they just send them to their home? It's insane. Donna, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, Ruthie, I'm with you. Jesus, Celestial Commodore. Bad Faith, Christian Nationalism's Unholy War on Democracy. Well, where can we find that? Bad Faith, Christian, documentary. Oh, it's from last year. Okay, you can find it on Peacock, Amazon, Tubi, Apple, YouTube, and Google Play.
Those who want to use religion to justify all kinds of evils. It's always been a part of America.
That is very true. That's a very true statement. That's always been a part of America.
Christian nationalism did create Donald Trump.
No, it did not.
We are not just in a culture war. This is
Yeah, you guys can see where it all came from.
the kingdom of darkness versus the kingdom of light.
Now, speaking of this whole thing where you're like in a cult and stuff, right? I just watched well, I watched a lot of like documentaries about very scary people. I watched Apple Cider Vinegar, which is it's not a documentary, but it's a docudrama about Belle Gibson, who was a health and wellness influencer from Australia. Fascinating. And then I watched the whole 60 Minutes interview with Tara, which wasn't an interview, it was an interrogation, but it was fabulous. I watched the other documentary where people dove into more stuff. And then I also watched The Devil in Our House about Jody Hildebrand and Ruby Franke. And the fact that Ruby Franke and this other woman, Jody Hildebrand, but Jody Hildebrand specifically, had created a mini cult inside the Mormon church to the point where this man literally did whatever his wife said because he was so in love with her, he wanted her back, that he left his house and left his children with this insane woman because he believed what she was doing was commanded by God. When I look at all these people that are praising and the praise hand shape and all this stuff that are not conscious of their choices anymore, that are not literally yeah. They're in a cult. These people are not living of their own free will. Okay.
We will not let them silence your voices. Not gonna let it happen.
Christian nationalism's unholy war. Well, I know what I'm watching tonight. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. Yeah, the Ruby Franke is a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a lot. I had a physical reaction to that one. But it explains a lot about a lot of different things. Maybe he does. Maybe Trump does have some beef, some personal beef with the Venezuelan cartel. You know? I don't know. That doesn't sound like a good place to... Well, listen, if I had Rosie O'Donnell's money, I would have already moved too. This is why I'm trying to get this channel monetized, guys. So I can make some money and maybe get the fuck out of this nightmare, or at least survive it for the time being. Okay? Yes, Diana, you need to protect your son at all costs. If he's DACA, he's an extreme danger. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm so sorry. I didn't see it. I didn't even know this was a film. This is the stuff we should have been watching in 2024. Do I think high faith cult-like groups are more prolific? And if yes, why? Oh, absolutely they are right now. Because the age of information makes it so much easier to form a cult. Look at the Twin Flames cult. There's a great documentary on Netflix called Escaping Twin Flames. They are still going. Go watch that documentary. Because of social media, because of this, because of the parasocial relationships that we have developed over the last decade and put more attention and focus on those parasocial relationships than the actual conditions and things that are going on in our actual homes, cults are very easy. People are very easily frog in the potted into a whole other belief system. If there is no one around you to immediately challenge you, to step up and be like, hey, what are you talking about? And it's someone that you trust, right? You will fall into a cult. That is just guaranteed. That is just guaranteed. Because cults are everywhere. The Ruby Frankie, Jody Hildebrand proved it can be a cult of two. But Jody Hildebrand actually had a cultish hold on several couples inside the Mormon church. It wasn't just the one that she super invaded, the Frankie household. Okay. She was a definite cult leader inside the Mormon faith. So it is very easy for these things to pop up. And every once in a while, mostly a lot of these things get associated with God, specifically with Jesus. And they are offshoots. Anyone, it says in the Bible, and I believe it says in the Quran, like, don't beware of false prophets, right? Yet, every single motherfucking time some J-hole comes along and it's like, you know what? I've been getting messages from God. And it's just such a burden. I need your all help. I need you to help unburden me with these messages from the Lord. People are like, oh, wow. What did the Lord tell you? Well, and then they just believe everything this person says because they cherry pick the actual teachings to mirror or reflect their intentions of control, right? It was playing in theaters first. Yeah, I don't think I went to one film last year in the theater. Read the USA Today story about Camila Munoz, who, okay, let's pull it up and then we're going to wrap this up in a bow. Let's see here. Camila Munoz. Okay. This is from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Got to get that local news plug here. Good God, this thing is riddled. Where did the article go that I just wanted? Oh, that's weird. Okay. So this is from today. This article that I'm pulling up here, Christina, is from today. From the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. This is not a good site. This needs a redesign. There's just a bra ad right there. Okay. So, a Wisconsin Trump voter's wife has been detained by ICE. What to know about the case? Is this available to listen
Weeks
to?
Ago. This is the 10 o'clock news.
Oh, this is the lady.
Tonight, a judge granting a South Jersey mother.
This was great. This story was fantastic. This is a whole other story. This is not, this is the couple that they're talking about. Brad Bartell and his wife, Camila Munoz. So this was another woman who was detained by ICE in South Jersey. She's the falafel queen of this tiny community in South Jersey. The entire community, guys, the entire community, Rachel Maddow did a segment about it. I wish I could pull up Rachel Maddow without getting copyright struck. But her entire community wrote hundreds of letters, held protests, harangued the mayor and the district attorney until they got this woman released. That's what it takes to fight back an entire community fighting back for the falafel lady. Okay, but let's talk about these guys. Okay, Bartell and Munoz met in Wisconsin Dells shortly after the pandemic. Bartell, who grew up in the area, was working maintenance in a factory. Munoz, meanwhile, was a college student studying human resources management in Peru when she was accepted to a work-study program, secured a U.S. visa, and got a job at Dells Water Park in 2019. During the pandemic, Munoz overstayed her visa because she was unable to get home to Peru with flights canceled and borders closed. She stayed in the Dells, working jobs in food service at a local farm. Overstaying a visa is considered an administrative, not criminal, violation of U.S. immigration law. Immigration attorneys say it can result in a bar to returning to the United States for up to 10 years, or it can be lawfully forgiven under a waiver of unlawful presence if the immigration spouse or immediate relative is a U.S. citizen. Munoz had submitted a green card application to the government when she was detained, but the U.S. government had broad authority to detain immigrants even when they have an application in progress with ICE. If an individual has overstayed their visa, they are therefore illegal and they are subject to deportation. Okay. She was detained by ICE in February while traveling back to Wisconsin from her honeymoon in Puerto Rico. She's currently in a privately run detention center, of course, in Louisiana, where there are nearly 80 other women in her dormitory. I want you to picture that. 80 women in one dorm. 80 women. Okay. 2025. 1944. Right now in America. She's appeared in the ICE detention system in nearly a week after being detained. She and her husband keep in touch on 20 cents a minute phone calls. Oh, I'm so glad that that phone company can make a profit while detainees talk to their loved ones. Okay. Here's the other people. A woman in her 50s who's lived in the country more than 30 years and is married to a U.S. citizen. She's a super threat, guys. Obviously. This lady's been here for 30 years. She's up to no good. A woman in her 30s with proof of valid permanent legal residency, whose father and siblings are U.S. citizens and first came to the U.S. as a teen. Lock her up. A European woman in her 30s engaged to a U.S. citizen who overstayed her visa when she was 21. She's been here an additional 9 years, probably paying taxes, probably working, contributing to her community, but, fuck her. A woman engaged to a U.S. legal permanent resident with whom she has lived for 9 years. Listen, Nora, my fellow Nora, don't tell people to come here. Don't tell people to come here. Immigrants, people from other countries, do not come to here. Do not come to here. Okay? Do not come to here. America is closed. We are closed for repairs. Don't come here. Please don't. Be safe. Okay? Do not come to here. Do not do it. Do not come to here. Okay? Yeah, just we are not a safe place to be. Yeah, this is my warning for people coming to America right now, okay? This is it.
The N59 linking Ballina to Belmullet is completely impassable, causing serious flooding conditions for the town of Crossmolina. So all of the advice is stay away from that stretch of motorway.
Don't go there.
It's treacherous, and we will be following developments there. I suppose, Una, Crossmolina crystallizes just how treacherous the weather conditions
it's treacherous
are
here in America.
Here in the west and the northwest. Cannot repeat the advice often enough from the Gardaí. Don't make unnecessary journeys.
Don't make unnecessary
Don't take
journeys.
risks on treacherous roads. And don't swim in the sea. Incredibly, people have been spotted in the water here in Blackrock and Salthill both today and yesterday. Galway City Council say their actions are idiotic. Not only are they putting their lives in danger, but it is unacceptable and unforgivable to put the lives of people in the rescue services
That's
in
right.
danger as well.
Don't go in the sea. Don't go on treacherous roads. Everything here is treacherous. All of America is treacherous. Stay away. Please, please. Like literally, don't. The rest of us are trying to survive, and we're trying to get out of here before like shit from like paradise and 0 day come true. And it's like, please don't. Do yourself a favor. If you live in another country, be kind to Americans. Reach out to your American friends. Offer them a bed, a crumpet, a fucking biscuit, a scone, something. It's a fucking help, because it is literally the worst here. It is the worst. We are in hell, and we need help. Please help us out, rest of the world. This is just... We need help. We need help. We need help. Jesus Christ, Heidi. I have no words for that situation. That is just fucking disgusted. I'm just... Please, Democrats, people who consider themselves Democrats, liberals, left-leaning people who are not part of the Christian alt-right, who want everyone to be in the Handmaid's Tale, please stand up. Please stand up. Be heard. Be loud. Do not go gently into that good night. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Oh No, America. I'm your host, Nora Ames. Hopefully this day has been informative, fun, and given you a little sparkle of America. Thank you to my mods, as always, for keeping things cool, chill. And if you guys want some of that sweet, sweet merch, hit us up at ohnomerica.com.
Blow your mind, only on Oh No America you'll find.